Hi.
Hey, how are you? Let me see if I'm recording. Okay, good. Ravana, good to see you.
The same. Thank you very much.
How are you doing? How's it going?
I'm well, thank you. And
Uh,
you?
I feel fantastic, like in the cosmos, but on the Earth. All right. I can't see other people over here. I mean, you're okay. Yeah, I see Shams. Hey, Shams.
Hey, what's up?
Not much. What about you?
The same,
The same?
almost. Yeah,
The same spitted water everywhere.
yeah.
Okay. What about you, Leila? How are you? Do you feel
I'm doing
energetic?
well today.
Yeah? Full of energy
Yes, I'm much better.
to conquer the world?
Uh, yeah,
Good.
and I'm not at home. That's why I don't want to open my camera. Is it okay if I just listen?
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
For these moments, I always have my call. Uh, okay. Just. All right, guys. So we're going just to see the. Yeah, you remember this planning, right? It's not the planning, it's just a set of questions that you had to ask during the simulation. Yeah. And now we're just going to analyze it. Yeah. One by one, I'm going just to ask some questions about this. Yeah. It's going to be related with our previous lesson structure. Okay. So I would start with Leila. Yeah.
Okay.
Um, okay. What parts would you separate or divide this conversation to? What parts of the lesson? How would you structure this lesson?
Um,
Okay, just give
you
me
mean
some.
according to
Yeah.
the last lesson or?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. You can add something from
Okay.
yourself. It would be nice.
Mm, I'd probably like start with some warm up and then give some information about our topic, like what are we going to talk about mainly.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and then probably I would start with the questions.
All right. And
And at the end,
Mhm.
feedback. And do you have any questions for me? I actually started to apply it. Like yesterday, I asked, "Do you have any questions for me?" And they actually had questions, so I was very happy about that.
Mm-hmm. One of the sometimes they say like this, that one of the indicator that it was interesting, your conversation or training, whatever, that at the end someone asked question. Yeah, someone asked question.
Yeah.
Okay, but it just, I think that is stereotype. Yeah, sometimes it just can be no questions, right? All right, and how would you gather feedbacks?
Mm, I would probably ask like all of them one by one.
Mm-hmm. Um,
And not
okay,
not all the feedback.
all right. So, and how would you gather the mistakes of your students?
I usually have like a piece of paper with me all the time,
Very
so
good.
I take notes during the conversation,
Mm-hmm.
and then like I, let's say, divide them into different parts at the end, like mistakes related to grammar or let's say pronunciation or other stuff, or sometimes repeating the new words and their meanings.
All right. Thank you. Thank you, Leila. Let's continue with Parvana. Are you with us? Hey. Okay. Question to you. How would you drill the words? How would you teach the words which we have here?
Um, probably, first of all, I will just give information about the topic that we're going to, for example, talk about the money. Then I will tell that we have new words and we are going to learn new words. And I will just explain the words. And I will tell that please just use this words during the conversation, so you will just remember afterwards, just after the conversation too.
All right. How would you understand which questions or maybe improvisation questions you can ask to B1 level? Do we have some maybe document for that?
Okay, you mean B1? Actually, I couldn't get.
Yeah. For example, you have B1 group, right? And you're going to deliver your conversation to B1. How would you understand which kind of questions you can give them? What kind of things you can challenge them?
Okay, so first, maybe I will just ask maybe difficult question, so I will see them if they understand it or not. Then I will just maybe make the question more difficult or much easier.
All right. Yeah, that's a good idea. You'll try to touch their challenge points, right?
Yes.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
And maybe also looking at the document you sent us last time.
Exactly. Thank you so much, Leila, for reminding us this. So we have the document that is what we call CEFR. Yeah, that is Common European Framework for Reference. Yeah. Well, that is actually where this B1, B1 plus, all these levels come from, right? So yeah, you can just look up also this document and you can find there's some very useful information for you. Okay, good. What would you do if you're out of questions?
Okay, I will ask related questions to the topic. Maybe I will ask, what did you do today? Or you did anything interesting? Do you like maybe, do you want to just recommend us some movie maybe, or recently you read any book?
Mm-hmm. We speak about money. Yeah, don't forget about topic.
Okay, yeah. Probably topic related questions about money. So
Okay.
about money, we can ask, for example, if you are given a lot of money, would you like to open your own business or company? Or would you like to just travel abroad to invest in your education?
Mm-hmm. Okay. So thank you so much, Parvana. It was great answers. Yeah, so let's say individual and personalized for your style of teaching. Very good. Let's continue with Shams. Yeah. Hey, Shams.
Hey.
Hey. Okay, so if you get this material, yeah, for example, I send it to you, would you apply it immediately, or would you do something else with this material?
Actually, I'm not the one that always give vocabulary about topic, but I would apply this topic vocabulary in my question. For example, if they don't know this verse, I would use questions that would you spend money? How do you spend money? How do you save money? What are the easiest ways of let's say earning money? Or have you ever regret to buy something that so on?
All right, great idea. If you have individual conversation, one-to-one, how would you give feedback at the end?
Okay, actually, if I have individual, I wouldn't give feedback at the end. I would feedback sentence by sentence, question by question, because that person is aware that making individual conversation, and if he's making mistakes, it's my job to correct them.
Mm-hmm. All right. How would you sum up this topic of money?
Okay, sometimes I also give my comments on questions on topic, because sometimes the students' approach is so narrow, and I would sum up in at the end that yeah, so you think that this is the best way to invest money, or so his ideas, I would give with a, let's say, 3 or 4 sentences the total sum up.
Okay, great. That's all, guys. Yeah, that's all questions I want to ask you about the previous lesson. Well, for now, let's stop the share, and I'm going to send you the things that I was writing on whiteboard here. I haven't sent it to you. So, materials. Mm-hmm. Okay, so today our topic is we're going to speak about the roles of a teacher. Okay, how do you understand this role of a teacher? Are we kind of actors or what? Yeah, are we in some play? Yeah, we are teachers. So how do you understand? In short, please. Let's start from you, Parvana.
Okay, so I think the role of teacher is important. I mean, the teacher should able to teach someone. She or he has the ability to teach. So maybe during the conversation, she or he just have to analyze what the student is speaking and to find his
All
or
right.
her mistakes, and also just to correct them at the right time.
Okay.
So
Okay.
the students will understand it.
All right. Thank you, Parvana. The next one is Sambi. How are you, Sambi?
All right, how are you doing?
We're doing well, thank you.
Good.
Yeah, so the question is, how do you understand the role of teacher? What is that?
The role of teacher, of the role of a teacher.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, could you elaborate?
Yeah. How do you understand this notion, role of a teacher?
In a student's life?
Yeah, in the teaching life. Yeah, while you're teaching, while you have classes.
Okay. I think maybe the role for me, it's probably to inspire students. Definitely to share knowledge with students. I think that mostly to inspire and to share knowledge. I think that's the big, yeah.
So the main part here is sharing, right? Sharing,
yeah.
Sharing. Good. Thank you, Sandeep,
Yes.
for your idea.
Yeah.
Let's continue with Shams. Shams, how do you understand that role of the teacher?
Actually, we're talking about the role of teacher, I guess, in this training fully, and we have different roles: to teach, to lead, to guide, and to inspire, as Tembi mentioned. You can be a good teacher, you can know your, let's say, subject very well, but if you are not a good teacher, that people is not gonna listen to you or not gonna learn anything from you, because it's about your mimics, your wholly you have to be a teacher.
All right. Okay,
I don't think
great.
that the teacher teaching ability is something that can be gained later. It's something that you should have. I know many people that they don't have ability to teach me yet to teach me something.
All right. All right. So, okay. So you born as a teacher, right? You don't become a teacher.
Yes.
Okay. Okay, yeah, that's a very interesting idea. Thank you so much for sharing that. And Layla, what do you think about that? What is that? The roles of a teacher?
Yeah, I somehow agree with Shams, and I think like the role of teacher is to deliver the knowledge he or she has, like in a way which could be interesting for his or her students, like both delivering the knowledge he or she have and motivating the students to learn.
Okay. Mm-hmm. So now we're just going to go through the roles of teacher. Yeah. So later on, you'll be able to add something if you would love. Yeah, some new role. But that is the roles which I minimized from, I don't know, 14 roles. Yeah, you can find 20 roles. Yeah. But I decided that it can be just 4 of them. Yeah. So we can conclude them with 4. So let's try to see it. Just a moment. I do like this color. Okay. Yeah, that's better. Let's start from first role, that is organizer. Yeah. So even if you're giving materials, yeah, as we said in our last lesson, in our last conversation, that you have to take this material which you're required to teach, you have to adapt it, you have to organize it the way that is good for your students, and then you have to apply it. Yeah, that is the best way you can do. If you don't have time, then improvise. So this role manages lesson. Yeah. So you say what to do, when to do, right? You stop people, you tell them continue. Yeah, a kind of commander. Okay, and here we'll add some notion. It is teacher-centered, student-centered. So teacher-centered is mainly about when we have more than 50% of attention on teacher. That is teacher-centered. When we have more than 50% for student, we call this class student-centered. Okay, so organizer is teacher-centered. So let's write here first, that is teacher-centered. So here, who's the boss? Teacher is the boss. Okay. Hey, Sambi, good to see you. All right, let's continue. Okay, so as an organizer, you have to give clear instructions. If your instructions are going to be not so clear, yeah, or vague, then students, they can mess up everything, yeah, and as a result, your conversation or classes can be messed up. That's why give clear instructions, yeah, and after giving instructions, also ask questions, yeah. Do you understand? It's not the best question, yeah. Most of the time they're going to say, or yeah, of course, continue. Ask some WH questions, which we call concept check questions. Yeah, you explain something and you say, okay, guys, so what should we do first? Yeah, so Ali, that's my favorite student here for this training. So Ali, could you please tell us what is the first stage of this? Yeah, and he's going to tell, oh yeah, that is the first, and everyone is going to hear again from the student. Yeah, so give clear instructions and ask at the end of your explaining. Okay, let me see what we have here. Then if the student cannot understand something in your speech or in your giving instruction, in your sentence formation, then you have to have very good skills of paraphrasing things. Yeah, you have to have in your disposition that you have to have antonyms, synonyms, yeah, so you have to be always ready to give some other word for him to understand it. And when you give this other word, they also find some association and connection between that. And the best way to teach your vocabulary is also giving some synonyms to that, or antonyms, opposite words, whatever. Okay, so as I've told you, after this, ask at the end, and the best way of asking and checking their understanding of the instructions and everything you explain or might explain, that is concept check questions. Yeah, so concept check questions is mainly not yes, no questions, yeah. Try to ask wide questions, because yes, no questions, it is 50%, right? Yes or no, 50% of possibility of understanding of your student, right? So most of the time they're going to say yes. Yeah. So with that, you can lose the possibility that they understand, really understand, and you know that they understand. Okay. That's the old thing about organizer, yeah. And the typical things, the person organizes classes, yeah, everything. Let's write here everything, just everything. Okay, but is it a good idea to organize everything? That's the question. So for that, we have here the next stage, the next role is observer. Well, while organizer is teacher-centered, yeah, almost fully teacher-centered, observer is student-centered. So what happens here? When we see that some active discussion is starting between students, it can be also a bit of debate, right? If it's controlled by you, then you can be observer. Yeah. You can just go back and observe their active speaking. Yeah. So because that is actually going to be authentic speaking. Yeah. It's not just going to be answering your questions. It's going to be discussion, which can be very beneficial for two of the students. Yeah. And if you could, you can add one more student and they can just speak between each other 5 minutes. But you know that these 5 minutes are quite better than just asking questions. It's going to be authentic communication between them. So that's why encourages active discussions. Okay. Then observer is not always about encouraging them to speak, yeah, between each other. Yeah, is not always, let's say, prompt them to start discussion and to maybe sometimes a bit like debate between each other. But also observer sometimes is someone who don't say mistakes like, okay, stop here, you have a mistake, yeah, or it's not have, it's has, yeah. So you can build all your conversation as I told you before, that you can be all the lesson observer in this point, yeah, of pointing mistakes, right? You can just have a piece of paper, you can point mistakes, and at the end of conversation, you can allocate the full session, feedbacking session, and tell to everyone, not personalize your feedbacks, about the mistakes they've made. Okay, so that's why this person ignores mistakes. But note them, yeah, very important point as well. Not fully ignores. Okay, the next one is feedback giver. Okay, so feedback giver, it is teacher-centered. All right. So this role of a teacher to know when and how to give feedback. Yeah. How. Okay, mainly this role is about that. You organize your feedbacks. You know when you're going to give it. You know how you're going to structure it on a piece of paper. Because there is also one thing, if you're going just to write it as a big list, maybe at the end, you're not going to have enough time for you to give all this feedback to students, right? But if you structure them somehow, yeah, for example, okay, 5 minutes, I'm going to speak about this, yeah, about that topic, yeah, then that is the role you're doing, feedback giver. You are structuring and preparing your feedbacks. All right. Stopping your students during their speaking, as I've told you before, that it can influence on their fluency. So that's why if you see that active communication is on, yeah, is going on, try not to stop it. Even if you can hear some mistakes, yeah, try to be observer, try to note, but be happy that the student is trying to give you some answer. Yeah, if he's anxious person and he says, maybe it is not like continue, no, speak, yeah, tell me your idea, yeah, important, tell me your idea. That's try to explain me what you want to tell. Yeah. So stopping student can, let's say, impact on their fluency. Yeah, fluency, it is one of the, let's say, parameters of their speaking, right? So that's why if they know a lot but they don't speak, they are anxious about speaking, they're silent about speaking, then you have to develop their fluency. And with that, you can be good feedback giver and observer together. Yeah. Okay. For advanced students, yeah, and also for the students which you feel that you have already some nonverbal connection, you can use your gestures during the, or your mimics during the presentation, right? When they speak, you can just show that something goes wrong and they will understand it. Because I would say that 90% of students, when they speak, they look at teacher, at their reactions, yeah. And if you show that on your face or with the gestures, yeah, what to do, yeah, maybe stop here, maybe think again, you know, then they can change. They're not going to stop their fluency, but they're going just to come back and continue again from there, right? Okay, so for advanced students, you can use gestures. Okay, that's all about feedback giver. And the last one is prompter. Well, prompter it is. More student-centered, but we have some proportion. That is 90-10. And in this proportion, 90 goes to student and 10 goes to teacher. Yeah, I hope you understand this initial somehow. Okay. Then, let's see what we have in prompter. So this role is mainly about invisibly help the student. Okay, if you're going to go so much with that, with the helping, then the sense of self-developing, yeah, can die in your students. Yeah. So they kind of can rely just on you when they speak. Yeah. So tell me the words. Now your resource. Yeah. Tell me the translation of this. Yeah. But if you're going to invisibly help them as a prompter, yeah. For instance, we tell that if they say something wrong, you can mirror that. If they say, we has a car, you can say, oh, you have a car, very good, continue. Yeah, so that is prompter. You help them, but invisibly. You don't say, it's not have, it's not has there, it's have. Yeah, that is direct helping. But prompter, try to mirror it, or just maybe just somehow invisibly help them. So let's write here. Help students to speak. Also, it can be examples. Yeah, you can just give short example for them to start, as we discussed before with silent students. Yeah, they don't have, they most of the time they say, I have no idea. And when they say that, examples comes from you. You can say, for example, I do this. That is about my life. That is about my way of doing this. What about you? And then, oh yeah, this can be an idea. And they can even copy that, say something very close, similar to that, but your aim is to make them speak. Yeah. So it means that your goal is set. Okay. Then, all right. Prompter is also about motivating your students to speak, right? Sometimes you can tell them some nice words. Yeah, appreciating, rewarding, all about prompter. Yeah. So you don't really say, for instance, come on, continue speaking, say something. Yeah. You say, he said some one sentence, yeah, and you say, that's a great idea, and can you please add something more about it? Yeah, and he says, what I can add, and you can tell your idea. Yeah, so interact with them. Don't give all this test to them. You have to speak, not me. Yeah, you have 10% of interaction in prompter. Yeah, so use it very efficient. Okay. Yeah, as I've told you, gives examples. Gives examples. Then. And sometimes when you, like most of the time, when you give example, you are in fact a participant of this conversation. You participate in your own conversation. And with that, they feel very big connection that you are one of them. You also try to tell your idea, right? And if you do so, well done. Yeah. If you show them that I'm not here just to ask you questions, yeah, it's not a kind of interview, guys. Yeah, we're going to discuss a topic. I'm going to tell my ideas, tell me your ideas. So let's start. Yeah. So that's also about being a participant. Prompter can be a participant, but not so long, guys. Orientatively, you can think about 3 minutes talk. Yeah, 3 minutes is for you and other minutes for them. Yeah, so they have to feel that you're involved as a participant, but you have to understand that still it's not your job to be involved. It's your job to show that, right? 3 minutes maximum. Yeah, and then you start observing, being a participant, maximum 3 minutes. Okay, what else I have here? Okay, let me see if I have here. Be punctual. Okay, as a prompter, you help them, right? But it's a good idea to help them shortly in Azerbaijani or not? Of course not. So, all right, if you see that the situation is emergency, yeah, we have some kind of students that need some explanation in Azerbaijani, then you can use it, but in very emergent situations. In other situation, you have to show that I don't know Azerbaijani, sorry. Yeah, so you have to show that I speak just English. Challenge yourself, do everything you want, but explain what you want to say, right? Try to challenge them sometimes with English. Yeah. Create the situation that very close to the native speaking environment. Yeah. When they come to England, for example, yeah, and you're like, okay, so I'm not going to speak any Azerbaijani. Yeah. Now show me what you got. Okay. Try to speak, not speak. Try to speak Azerbaijani. Oh, sorry guys. English only, Azerbaijani only. Oh my god. English only. Okay, that's all about prompter. Now, if anyone has something to add here as a role, yeah, or add something to the roles, yeah, just let me know your idea, guys. If you would love add something here. Yeah, so you can take
motivator.
Motivator, okay. So can be added to prompter because you also kind of, you push them doing things, right? So I've added it here, motivate students to speak. Yeah.
I don't mean actually not that kind of motivator. I mean that maybe sometimes students are challenging to understand something and they feel that they're gonna give up in that moment, motivator, because it always happens.
Mm-hmm. All right. So would you like to add one more role of motivator? And this role is mainly about motivating them when they're lost, right? Am I correct? Yeah. But don't you think that prompter, it is the same function, right? So prompter, it comes on the moment when they're lost, yeah, and show them the way, yeah. So motivator, I would say maybe it is a bit stronger than prompter. Yeah, here we have just 10% of interaction of teacher, yeah, that you can interfere as 10%. But no one tells you that should be 90 to 10. Yeah, it's not a rule. You can make it 80 to 20 if you feel that it should be like this now. Yeah, this student needs some more attention right now because he looks lost. Yeah, so that's why, yeah, I've seen this role of motivator, but then I've just seen that the functions of prompter, it's very close to motivator actually. And just prompter, it is a bit further than motivator to a student, right? Motivator is closer to them, yeah, like motivating every time, come on, come on, come on. But prompter is like just trying to give them some clue of doing something and then going to observer. Yeah, 10%. All right, but still, thank you so much for your idea. Any other things to add to the roles, or maybe add one more role if it's very distinctive from the things we have here? Okay, let me just then connect it and save it. All right, let's save it and then clear it. Okay, now the question is, what role, one role, do you use the most and why? What role do you use the most and why? I would love to start from Leila.
Okay. I actually don't have an exact answer.
Okay.
I think like organizer and prompter, I would say, most of the time.
Okay, so organizer and prompter, thank you. Let's continue with Tembi. What about you? What role do you use the most?
the thing is, I don't use one specifically. I mostly use from one trait from each role. So I wouldn't be able to, give you which one I use.
So would it be challenging for you? Would it be challenging for you to have all your class with one role?
Yeah, I think it would though. Because you do have different students who have different needs, so you need to pull out a different role for each student. Yeah.
Okay, thank you for your opinion. Shams, what about you?
In my opinion, I always apply to my role as prompter because especially in low conversation clubs, and additionally organizer, I guess, because without organizing the questions, for example, of course, I don't just write all questions myself. I took them from the internet, but I thought that if I go this order, it will be easier. That, for example, I always start my conversation, what is the meaning of our topic for you, then continue somehow. Yeah, so organizer and prompter, I guess.
That might be a very good warm-up, yeah. Asking them, brainstorming kind of. Okay, good job. And Parvana, what do you think about it? What role do you use the most and why?
Okay, I believe all the roles here are very important, and the teacher should play the role at right time. Actually, I use them, all of them, but mostly I can say maybe prompter. But I sometimes use observer, and it makes the conversation more interesting. I guess all of them are important.
Of course. Yeah, guys, so that is exactly what I wanted to hear, that you understand that it is hard to have just one role as a teacher, because as Sambi said, and thank you for that, students are different and you have to be flexible and adaptive to them. So that's why your role depends on your students. How you know them, yeah, you know that for this student, this role is the best now. Yeah, it's not even about students, it's about the situation. But because sometimes even the best student would need some prompter. Even the worst student would need some observer, right? Not just prompter. That's why you have to try to combine all this together. Yeah, sometimes you can use both of them. Yeah, you can be a feedback giver and observer at the same moment. Yeah, you can observe and prepare your feedbacks, right? You can, for instance, organize and at the same time be a prompter. Yeah, just have fun with that. That's all up to your teaching style, right? All right, now we're moving to the next part, and it's going to be about a role model. Yeah. So, yep. Whatever is happening on your conversations or classes, you are the role model for your students. Yeah. Anyway, the stereotype of a teacher is the center of the class is, let's be honest, it is a bit conservative, yeah, in the society where we teach, yeah, that you are the center of the class. Being in different roles, we can operate with that. We can show them, don't think like that. Yeah, I'm here to teach you. Yeah, as a friend, I'm not teacher, the typical teacher, which you know. Yeah. All right. So now we're going just to go through the things which can help us to be a role model for our students. Let's write here, how to be a role model. Or maybe even a role teacher. Model as a teacher. That's a bit long. Yeah. So let's start from first one. Yeah, and as always, at the end, you are able to add something there. Let's start from first one. Never stop learning. The difference between you and student is learning, and you learning by teaching. Okay, that's the only let's say difference between. And sometimes you can even give some platform, some opportunity for your students to teach you as well. Yeah, to tell you about their experience. Yeah, is this. Okay, so never stop learning, never stop researching. Yeah, if in one moment you realize that you know everything, maybe you have to think again, because there is always something we can learn, we can improve, and we can get better. Okay, and if you feel that in some activity or in some things that you're doing, you're not developing and learning anything else, well, sometimes it can be also about the place where you work. Yeah, sometimes it's the best idea just to quit doing that. Then be flexible. What I mean by flexibility? Let me see. And always try to have plan B, and even C if you can, and even D if it's possible. Yeah, because you never know what's happening. Yeah, you never know what's going to happen. And about the internet connection, guys, don't get upset. Yeah, it is something that you cannot control really. Yeah, if internet goes down, just relax. Yeah, so in this month I have lost about 10 lessons because of internet connection, but what should I do? Yeah, so I was just making a cup of coffee and going outside and enjoying the nature. Yeah, so so that's why don't worry about these connections and so on. If it's not connecting, that's all right. Okay, so trying to
I want
have.
to say one thing, sorry for interrupting about the connection, but how do you feel, how do students feel about it? I am always afraid that they're gonna complain about the connection, or they're gonna leave our, let's say, platform, and that's why I always feel shameful. And after even returning back, I feel so anxious. I lost myself, let's say, in many
Okay,
cases.
so there are two things you can do to save your professionalism, let's say, as a teacher. First, if it's possible still, yeah, to send them the message or tell them, guys, that sorry, but we cannot have a lesson with this kind of connection. It is not appropriate for our platform. Yeah. So if I'm delivering you some lesson and if it's bad connection and you cannot even hear any word I tell, we're not working here for money or something. Yeah. So that is first. And second, you have to inform Bilbil about it. Yeah, inform that is something happened. Yeah, I have power cut. I cannot do that. So please, could you inform the students? Yeah, because mainly I cannot do that. I don't have their contacts and so on. So in the team, when everyone does their job, everything is fine. Yeah. The risk of losing the student, well, that is possible. That is something I cannot tell that it cannot happen. Yeah. But if you have a good internet connection and you have power cut, or you have good internet connection, but because of the problems of the internet in country, which we've had recently, yeah, like over the whole country, it was problem with internet. So that is something you cannot really do with that, right? But if you have bad internet connection and you know that you are an online teacher, yes, you can do something about it. You can change your provider, right? Okay.
Have you lost any student because of the connection?
I've lost a student not because of my connection, but their connection. So they decided not to change it. Yeah. But of course, they said some other reasons for this, that I cannot study online and so on. I said, yeah, that's all right. I'm fine. Yeah. Okay. Then try to adapt to students. level, yeah, your English can be proficient. You can speak so fast or so clear. But if you see that you work with A1, you have to slow down. If you see that you work with the students who cannot understand fast English and, for example, some of American accent, yeah. So usually I said not water, but water, yeah. But then I just find myself saying it and I correct myself because I understand that it's not how usually they hear it, water, yeah. So that's why try to adapt your level of English to the level of students. Sometimes when I work with Russian speaking students, I see that they cannot understand, let's say, clear English. So that's why I try to switch on a bit Russian accent. Yeah, because I had it before and I have it still. So that's why I try to switch it on. Yeah, sometimes when I speak with my, for example, friends from India, let's say, yeah, and they don't understand, yeah, I try to switch on Indian accent. Yeah, so try to sharp your listening for this, and also try to improvise with accents if it's important for your student to understand you. Then, yeah.
Sorry, can I quickly jump in?
Mm-hmm.
So like you said, adapt to students' level. So I find currently I speak really fast when I'm speaking in English. So I tend to think that if I speak slow, I feel like I'm dumbing it. Like I don't know if that makes sense. Like I feel like I'm like it's uncomfortable for me because I feel like I'm slowing it down and I make you feel not so clever. So when you mean adapt, do you mean slowing it down like completely or breaking also like the English? So
Something between, you know, something between. You can a bit break your English and also slow it down. Yeah. So that is something between, I would say. Because yeah, I understand that when you slow down, it sometimes can be something like you're trying to show them that you don't understand me, that's why I'm slowing down, right? But if you could control it invisibly, it would be great, yeah. But if not, you can start with the breaking your English, yeah. Just telling something like trying to speak with yeah, it's not so bad because they will feel that you're one of them, yeah, because most of them they use this kind of thing, yeah. Or you know, like this interwords, let's say, yeah, which you can put and slow down your speech as well. You know, it's like, yeah, this. Okay, thank you for your question. Okay, next one, it is have all you need prepared. Yeah, it can be about the requirements, the required materials, you have them ready. Your piece of paper always next to you, the things you're going to teach here, or it should be open as a document there. Yeah. So if you're providing a lesson, the presentation or a lesson should be open. Yeah, all the required materials should be open on your computer, right? Because it sometimes it takes time just to go over it and try to find it. Yeah, so have all you need prepared. Okay, that can be also translator, guys. Okay. Thank you.
No, I actually think that it's raise a hand that I've reacted because I wanted to
that's
ask.
a good idea. Okay, yeah.
Actually, I forgot already my question. Yeah, prepare material. Sometimes I share my screen and then I forgot to stop it, and somehow I switched my question paper in Word file that students saw it, and then I thought that they're gonna think that I'm not professional, that I'm just looking at the questions. And what do you think about it? That the students should know that I have material or not?
I would say not. Yeah. So you have to deliver your conversation as a talk. Yeah. Like you don't have any questions, but it just it comes from your mind. Yeah. Like, yeah, next question, you know the question, right? You've read it, but you don't show that you're reading the questions. I'm like, okay, next question is, yeah. So try to imitate it like it's a question from you that you're discussing it. Yeah. In a Zoom training, we're going to go through the Zoom how to share not all your screen, which is very important. Share specific, let's say, windows which you want to demonstrate. Okay. Okay. The next one, be more than a teacher. So by telling that first, which we've discussed, be a friend to them, but not so close, because sometimes it can break everything, yeah, when they feel that they are so close to you. All right. Try to know your students. Before before starting your conversation with a new student, tell them, okay, I see you first time, so could you please introduce yourself, yeah, and tell me about your hobbies, and record it. Yeah, I mean, take notes. Yeah, it would be nice to have some notepad, yeah, with all your students, their characteristics, so you know them well. Yeah, and you can adapt materials very good. Yeah. Okay, so what is that? Try to care about them. When you see that they look maybe a bit sad, it's not so bad to ask them, right? But sometimes when you feel that they don't want to speak in a group, yeah, well, that's not about online. Yeah, when you are in a class, an offline environment, you can use it. You can just approach them individually then, yeah. But online, you will just spend your time by saying that, okay, we can, I don't know, we can call them, yeah, together, connect somehow, and I can talk to you. But you are not a psychologist, right? To have the sessions. Yeah, so caring about their feelings. If they like it, if they don't like it. So it's good after all your things that you've done, yeah, ask any questions or feedbacks, which is a really good idea, yeah. So you care about their feelings. Do you really like what I did, right? Okay. Okay. That is what I like using. If they say, for instance, this word is so difficult, then I add that, yes, I remember myself learning this word. Yeah, I was telling something like this, and they're starting laughing that, oh my God, that's so inappropriate to say it like this. And this way, they feel that you're one of them very close, because you also tell about your failures. They feel that you're the person who is trying to learn and who was trying to learn English, yeah, and now you're just helping them. So tell about your failures when it's needed, guys. Yeah. Oh, let's continue with 4. What we have here: be called to problems. Be called to problems. Yeah, so be flexible and be called is quite close, yeah. So if you're flexible and you have plan B, then you can be called. Yeah, you can say, don't worry guys, I have an idea, we can fix it somehow. But if you don't have it, then you have to be called as well, yeah. As a teacher, as a role model, you have to just try to not show that you're panicking, that you're in a big panic about something that happened in a class, and try to just, if for example, sometimes you can have some conflicts with other students, right? For example, you say, do it like this, and he says, I'm not going to do it like this, yeah. And if you start being more aggressive, then it can destroy everything. But if you're going to be cold and say your words which you want to say in a nice way, but in a cold way, that's going to work. Yeah, they will feel that like you're unbreakable, right? Okay, be called to problems. No panic. Then be punctual, very important for you. Yeah, always be in time. So your students, and also one other way why we use warm up, because some students, they can be late, and when they come and they see you haven't started yet, they think, okay, phew, I'm on time. Yeah, so that's why it's good to do warm up. Yeah, and they just come, they connect, and they join the activity, and then you start, right? That is the other importance of warm-ups. Well, by being punctual, you also show them that you kind of treat them with respect. Yeah, so, and they can also trying to adapt to this. Yeah, if you see that some person is so late, yeah, you can just tell it in a nice way again. Yeah, all right. But for you as a teacher, being punctual, I would say if it's even should be uh, the first. It should be over here. Yeah. The other way why it's good to be punctual in Zoom program, because sometimes when you are connect before the students, yeah, most of the time I prefer doing it 5 minutes before the lesson, and then they connect, yeah, but I open everything, like I open my camera and also microphone after it's the time to start, right? And I see them starting speaking with each other, right? So it's some kind of warm up for them. I just open my camera and say, guys, we're waiting for the lesson, so try to speak English. It can be very good conversation for you. And then again, I go as an observer. And sometimes they can also say some problems they have between each other. In Azerbaijani, that's fine, but you hear it because you're punctual and you decided to connect before everything starts. Yeah. And that is what I've had. Yeah. All right. Would you like to add something here, guys? But very shortly. Nope. Okay.
Patience.
Sorry?
Patience. Do you have patience?
Mm-hmm. To be patient. Can we equal it with being cold?
Cold. Okay.
Mm-hmm. But I can add it. Being patient. Yeah, that's very important. Yeah, that can make you crazy. Yeah, but then you will adapt to that. Yeah, by being patient. Patient. And as for example, Sham said, yes, sometimes we can say that teachers are born. They are not. They don't become teachers. Yeah, because there should be this characteristics in your in you that you have to be patient. Yeah. If not, well, you still can be a teacher, but it's going to be something like USSR style teacher. The education of USSR was quite good, yeah, but quite effective. But if you speak about methods, they weren't so nice in psychological side. All right, that is all for today. What I wanted to discuss with you. If you have any questions, any things to add to our list. Questions and something add. No questions? Okay. No. Yeah. Good, guys. So thank you so much for the training. Thank you so much for the discussion. Thank you so much for your ideas. And I'll see you next time on Monday. And we're going to have, let me see what we're going to have on Monday. Oh, that is using visuals. How we can make conversation with visuals. Okay. So see you guys.
Goodbye. Goodbye.
Have a nice day.
Okay, bye.
You too. Thank you. Bye.
Bye. Yep. All right.